welcome to the silver anniversary of the Sedona International Film Festival. I'm Carol Kahn, and we're coming to you live from the Sedona Rouge Hotel, who's one of our sponsors, as well as Digitech and Black Magic Cameras. So thank you all, and I'd like to introduce you to Reena and Danielle. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And your film, But First. I watched it last night, and I was really impressed. It was completely different and surprised me from the minute I saw it. Mm-hmm. So why don't you explain a little bit about the whole, it's dance, music combined in a film?
Yeah, well, Too Many Bodies came out of a dream after the Parkland shooting. And so I kind of was imagining, I had a dream that there were these students that had gone through something as traumatic and awful as what many of our students today are going through. But I wanted it to be something that was surreal and non-confrontational, safe, beautiful, taking away words. Because the minute we have words associated with this kind of subject matter, I just wanted it to be something beautiful and peaceful to look at, mm-hmm. and then think about it after the fact, about what it means. So it's like my choreographer, Nancy Dobbs-Owen, she came on board and started choreographing all the dance pieces that integrate the surreal world around a very real thing that's happening in our country right now.
I think I was really impressed. I want to get back to that, and I was impressed with the whole entire editing of the piece, because it flashed from and I was like, wow, how did they do it? It was like so choreographed so well, but the editing was really amazing too.
Yes.
I think with the whole editing process, just because it was something that we were all so invested in, and Reena had such a distinct story that she wanted to tell, and all of us, I think, in our brains were following the story. So it's like the first few cuts of it, we were watching and it was like, okay, this isn't the vision. And finally one of our other producers, our team member, Puppet, she took the editing and made Reena's entire vision, just put it together beautifully.
Yeah. I mean, that was choreographed.
Oh,
the editing was all choreographed.
Oh,
the editing was incredible. We had an original editor who's fantastic, but it was the rough cut. It was the paper cut that I had put in my head, and I was like, okay, this is what my treatment is, and this is what it's supposed to look like, and it was absolutely not like what Danielle said. Absolutely not what we all wanted, mm-hmm. To make it just really hit your heart. And then Puppet stepped in and had this entirely new concept.
Yes.
And I was like, what? I don't understand. What? Puppet is insanely talented. She's one of our producers. So she took the whole thing, made a new baby. It was amazing.
It was.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Danielle, what was your role in the?
I was one of the producers. Mm-hmm. So it was wonderful, because I told Reena one day, I was like, because I was an actress, and I'm kind of like, I want to start doing projects that mean something. Mm-hmm. And she was like, well, I'm doing this video if you want to jump on board. I was like, that would be great. And then
and she's an amazing producer.
Thank you. And you're an amazing director.
Yeah. We just love fest.
Because we had so much fun. It's such a heavy topic, but it's something that needs to be talked about. Mm-hmm. And I think it's great because it's a policy like gun reform. Like, we want people to talk about gun reform. Mm-hmm. We want kids to talk about it. We want people to make a conversation, not have it be about a political association, or an affiliation is what I meant. But mm-hmm. you can vote on this, but not sacrifice your own politics. You can do this. It's about safety of our teachers, our students, our loved ones, mm-hmm. just everyone.
It's about empathy, because it's great to have conflicting ideas. And I think, being from Arizona, I posted something on my Facebook group for my high school. And it started a huge controversy on Facebook, because there were a lot of people who were scared that it was about confiscation and not about discussion. Mm-hmm. So the minute, what we want to do is open conversation. That's it. Open conversation. If we conflict, let's find out where the fears are coming from. Why are you scared of losing a gun? Why are you scared of not having access to guns? What is it about our community that makes us need these different things that are really invaluable to different parts of our community, and they're all valid reasons. Mm-hmm. But how do we empathize with each other and have a conversation about it? So something like this, taking all the words out, that's where the taking the words out, take out the dialogue. This isn't going to be a short film where we're talking about it, we have biased ideas. It's literally movement and fact. And so how does that change the conversation?
Well, it was completely different too, because when you look at like a dance number and you film it from different angles, you know, that's just like one thing.
Yeah.
This was like a story within this film, this short film.
Yeah. I just I really wanted to talk about what we're taking away from people who lose their lives so early, or so unexpectedly.
And the trauma, that survivors have.
Yeah.
It's like, because they're carrying this for the rest of their lives, and it's like when you're 15 or 16, or the kids at Sandy Hook, it's like, this isn't something that's going to go away. This is something they're going to take with them forever. And with the website that Reena had the idea of creating and everyone worked on, it's one of our sponsors, Survivors Empowered. They're amazing because they reach out to victims of gun violence.
They lost their daughter at Aurora.
Oh, wow.
And they've dedicated their lives to be first responders to the survivors and families of the people lost. So they fly out whenever there's a shooting, and they're just sitting there waiting for someone who needs someone to talk to. But ever since she was lost, they've literally, that's all they're doing with their lives, is supporting others.
And how did you get involved with that?
Phone calls. I was talking with Giffords for a long time, and we didn't have access. There's no website that is a website that has resources for survivors as well as advocates. And so I wanted to have one place, state by state listings for both. But outside of the politics, it's also really, truly, how do we empathize with each other on these kinds of subjects?
Right.
Phone calls.
So what was your take, now that you've done this and you're looking at, the effects that you have, like people watching it and that kind of thing. So what is your big take after doing a film like this?
Art is beautiful. Like, we can tell stories and express ourselves, and I feel move people and get conversations started. And once again, Reena was like, we took out the words and just put the movement, put the art. And hopefully when people are in pain, they can use their art rather than violence or rather than anger. They can create instead of destroy, which is something gun violence, one of our speakers also said to us. Instead of like destroying things, create something. Don't destroy a relationship or something. Create something better. Create a conversation. Create something to make people think and feel.
And we're so lucky that we're in the States. There are so many different kinds of people in our country. We are one of the only countries in the world that is all-encompassing.
Right.
And art is culture, and art changes our social norms. Art changes our thought process. It creates conversation that changes who we are as Americans. It's a beautiful thing. So to be somewhere like Sedona, or to be, we were in Tennessee and in the South, a bunch of places, and the conversations and openness that art allows people to have, that's my takeaway. So if we're going to create a story or talk about anything in our lives, how do we do it in a non-confrontational way that lets people in?
And I think it's amazing too. Well, it's not amazing, but it's sad actually that art. People want to cut art from schools and education. When I know, really, when you think about it, it's like we're all put here to be creative. I mean, that's really what we have to do, is to exercise that creativity in whatever form that we're given as our gifts. So.
Yeah, and I love that. In whatever form is given to us as our gifts. If we just figured out what every child in our country excels at and loves and finds passion in, and let it grow and nurture that, I think we would be in a very different society right now. Yeah,
absolutely.
I totally agree.
Now, how did the two of you meet?
We're neighbors. We're lucky. We live in a condo complex in LA, and it's just half of it is. Well, everyone in the building is great, but our half, for some reason, it's all creative musicians and filmmakers
and dancers, choreographers.
And we all just get along. Like
we're like one big family. It's a compound.
It's like people call it Denny's place instead of like Melrose Place.
I love it. Just a bunch of creatives that live together.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Now, have you shown your film yet, or is it this week, coming up this week?
It is.
We're showing today at
okay.
4:15.
Okay, and which theater?
It's going to be at the Harkins alongside I'm
Yes.
Not a Witch.
Okay.
I'm really excited
Yes,
about
we are
that.
very excited.
Yeah.
All right.
And then we're playing again on Thursday.
Okay, well,
morning.
good. Well, I
Yeah.
can't wait to see
Yay.
it, and thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here.
And thank you for having us. This
Yeah.
is,
We're so
for creative.
Yeah,
this is like
so
the
great.
best place.
This is an amazing festival. We're
I know.
super excited about it.
We've been having an amazing time.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, good. Well, I'm so glad that you're here. So thank you so much for being with us and celebrating our 25th silver anniversary. And we'll be back right after this.